Our next guest is an award-winning comedian who had a very thoughtful show on Netflix, Patriot Act, which I loved, and so did a lot of other people. I'm actually mad at him, and I know that's not normally how you want to introduce a guest, by anger. But
you're always
Hasan
angry.
Minhaj, I am mad at you because I have been mispronouncing your name this entire time, and you just let it roll.
Big mad.
Well, it's actually my fault. So
okay.
I was doing the thing where you try to fit into show business. You're just trying to be easy on other people. And actually, believe it or not, there's a lot of black Muslims named Hasan. They go sometimes Hasan.
Yep.
But the part, in Southeast Asia where my family's from, it's pronounced Hasan. So yeah,
Hasan.
I just felt like, you know what? I kind of want to be as authentic as possible and introduce myself to people the way my parents talked to me and the way my mom named me. So
not even kinda. You want to do that all the way. I dated a Hasan in high school, by the way. That has nothing to do with what we're talking about. But let's go back to Minhaj. Are you related to Nicki Minaj?
Yeah, my sister's doing great.
Okay.
Cari, I'm really glad that you're asking me about this because a lot of times people don't ask me about her. No, because it's one of those things where I'm kind of taking up the whole dialogue when it comes to kind of celebrity status, and people keep forgetting about her, and I'm really happy.
Clearly, we're kidding. For those who are writing us in, who will write in and say, hey, they're not related. We know that. Okay.
No, keep it that way.
Okay, keep it. Okay, well, hey.
Because it's a family
Nicki
relationship.
Minaj?
Yeah.
Okay, so we need to ask you, even though we don't stick to sports, but we're talking some sports. I'm a diehard Laker fan. The only team I believe in California that matters when it comes to basketball are the Lakers. However, from my understanding, it says here on cards and research, God bless you, you are a Sacramento Kings fan? God bless you.
Yes, thank you. Thank you so much for your love and support during these trying times.
Yeah,
thoughts and prayers.
Me and my family request privacy.
I am a Kings fan. Look, I grew up in Northern California. I grew up in the forgotten part of California, which was the Sacramento area. So I'm a Kings fan. To me, Forever Purple means the Sacramento Kings, not the Lakers. And I actually think, Cari, I think true fandom is determined by how many years of pain you've gone through and how many rings you haven't won.
By the way, it's been a decade. I would like to tell you, as in my Lakers, have not been to the Western Conference Finals for 10 years.
Don't even want to.
You don't want to?
I've already gotten into it with Laker fans before.
This is what I have to deal with all the time because I love that the Laker fans have the nerve to have some kind of persecution complex.
We do.
We got 7,000 championships. Stop it. Right?
Your turn.
I feel your pain.
I
mean, not totally because I'm
a
Pistons
and
fan.
ask your little question. Go ahead, ask your little question.
I will. Patriot Act, man. I loved it. A lot of people did. There's even a petition of people who want to bring it back to Netflix. How does that make you feel, knowing that so many people will miss what you provided them?
Yeah, I mean, it was a really great opportunity being on for 6 seasons at Netflix, which is, like 16 seasons on linear TV. You know what I mean? So I lasted a long time for a streaming show. But, what was really amazing, Jemele, was just being able to resonate with people around the world. Coming from The Daily Show, which is primarily a show for an American audience, and going to Netflix, which is for an international audience, and connecting with people in 190 countries was a thing that, I couldn't have imagined, and I didn't think it would connect the way it did. And it was just so cool that it meant something to people. It was a very specific show that I wanted to do. I wanted to talk about a lot of the social and political issues around the world from my perspective, but I'm just super flattered that it meant something to so many people around the world.
You don't have your platform right now, and I know that has to suck. I don't have any other nice way to put it, but what would you have been talking about in this moment? It's right before the election, if not arguably the most important election.
For me, one of the things that I loved most about the show was talking to my community and talking to people of color and approaching it from a rubber meets the road perspective. After we covered the untimely murder of George Floyd, we went to Minneapolis to sit down with Attorney General Keith Ellison. And one of the things that I wanted to show our audience was, hey, I want to talk to the guy who will be prosecuting Officer Chauvin. I want to look him in the eyes. I want to set up cameras in Minneapolis and show people how the justice system in America works. And those are the things that I miss most about the show, is that being able to kind of go on the ground in real time and to react to things and to answer kind of the pain and the suffering that people are going through. and actually provide tangible solutions.
You spent a lot of time also kind of really trying to make your own community accountable for the intra-community racism.
It is bad to be black in Desi culture, even though we all wish we were black. You don't think that affects how we view black people? 20% of Muslims in America are black. We don't even like praying at the same mosques.
What kind of backlash did you receive from calling out your own community?
Yeah, that was not a fun day on WhatsApp. I basically got called out by family. You know, they were just basically saying, why are you airing out our dirty laundry publicly? There was a big disconnect between, I think, our generation and the older generation that came here that falls into the trapping of the model minority story where, hey, mom and dad came here, we immigrated here in the 80s, we put our head down, and we've been able to establish ourselves in this country. But there's been this big disconnect where we don't realize that we are the children of the civil rights movement. And one of the things that I wanted to highlight in our George Floyd episode was, if it wasn't for the Civil Rights Act of 1964 and the Immigration Act of 1965, my dad wouldn't have been able to come here and immigrate in 1982. So, you know, Dr. King CC'd us on that email of progress, but a lot of times we're walking around like we got BCC'd.
Yeah.
Like, we're like,
oh, really?
I didn't.
Oh, I'm on it, but no one knows I'm on it.
Yeah. And so one of the things is like, hey, if we're beneficiaries of these fights and of this struggle, then we also have to put in our social capital and our financial capital into helping that struggle continue.
I tell you what, it's time that we lighten the mood a little bit. If you don't mind sticking around with us, we're gonna play certainly something that lightens my mood. It's called Is That Racist? We'll be right back with more from Hasan Minhaj.
Welcome back to Stick Sports, everyone. Certainly, he's quickly becoming one of my favorite guests. Hasan Minhaj is here again to play Is That Racist? Hasan, we want to bring you in on this. So, is that racist? Da-da-da-da-da-da! Blue Lives Matter.
I feel like that's a very obvious one, right? I mean, yeah, here's how I would explain it. Policing and unjust policing is a system that disproportionately impacts and hurts communities of color, which can be very racist.
I agree with you. It can be perceived as racist.
I would say that it's not racist, it's redundant. You don't have to say Blue Lives Matter because the lives of policemen and women have always mattered.
Okay.
Because the reason we have to say Black Lives Matter
Because we've never mattered. But there are
Because we haven't
people now
mattered.
who feel like the police are under
Right.
attack.
we got another one for you. In 2020, Hasan, is it racist to cast someone who is Muslim as a terrorist in a movie?
I think really what it's about is just real estate. So I just think, you know, it'd be cool if they show like, you know, a Muslim terrorist, but they also show maybe a white terrorist, like a mass shooter, or, you know, there's just.
Because that's actually something that occurs quite a bit in this country.
Yeah.
Yeah, like when we start talking about domestic terrorists, it would
Yes,
be a young
they're-
white male.
It'd be a white man.
How about this, Jemele? All terrorists matter.
Okay, I got another for you.
Okay.
I want to know if you think attending a Trump rally is racist.
Okay, you know what? I'm gonna have a contrarian take. Maybe you're there just to, you know, extend an olive branch. I'm gonna try to give people the benefit of the doubt, and I'm gonna try to get my Van Jones on and reach across the aisle and try to understand where people are coming from.
And this is why you're a beautiful human being.
Uh-huh.
I myself am a pessimist, and I think if anybody told me that they attended a Trump rally, the first thing that's going across my mind is you're a racist.
I agree. Mr. Minhaj, you've been great. And we are looking forward to your next project. I'm sure it's going to be amazing.
Thank you. Love
I
you
promise.
guys.
Thank you so much. I appreciate you for coming on. I'll DM you too, okay?
Okay.
Okay, bye. That was great. Do you know what? Do you want to guest host with us sometimes?